Welcome back to our lesson of Microsoft Excel. As we've said, in this lesson, we are going to learn about the errors and how we can fix the errors in Microsoft Excel. Well, there are basically 7 errors which appear up in Microsoft Excel while you are working on it. And we're going to go through them one by one and how you can fix it step by step. Now, the first error which we are going to handle is going to be the hash error and why it appears up. What I'm going to do is put up a specific data, which I have over here, and you can see that this is a 5-digit value. Now, if I condense the space up till here, you can see the hashes appear up. And when I increase the size, there are 2 hashes. Now, this basically appears up when there is no space for that data to be visible in your Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, or let's say a specific cell, and how you'll be able to fix it. Just like we did, or just do the opposite. First off, you can double click on it, or you can just extend the space according to your desire. And you will basically see that the error will be fixed and it will show you the exact data. Even if you have like a ton of data, let's say I'm going to type a lot of it. And when I click on over here, you can see sometimes it turns into some alphabets over here. Well, this is Oxel. Now, if I increase or keep on increasing and reduce the space more, you will basically see the hashes appear up. So either double click on it or just extend the size to get the full value of that specific number. I'm going to do is delete this as I don't need it. Okay. And just keep it just the way it was. Now this is going to be our first error and how you'll be able to fix it. The next error which appears up is the hash value error. And why does it appear up? Now let's say I'm going to do is type something over here. I'm going to do is type an equal. I'm going to do is sum this up plus this. Hit on enter. And even if I use the fill header, it gives me the exact data, right? Even if I remove the data, it still gives me the exact data. But it doesn't work in case of minuses. Okay, I'm going to press on Control Z so that I get the exact value back again. I'm going to do is remove it. I'm going to type in equal this one minus this one. Hit on enter. I'm going to do is use the fill header. And there we have the result. But I'm going to do is remove this. And instead of that, I'm going to do is type in a specific word. Let's say I'm going to just type in word and hit on enter. And you can see still the hash error appears up. But when I increase it, you'll basically see that it is actually a value error. Okay. And just like I said, when it doesn't meet up the criteria of finding the exact value, it shows you the hash value error. And it most of the time appears up when you are using minus, because it can't minus a word or alphabets from a specific numerical value, and thus this error appears up. So how you can fix it? Just remove it and put in a specific value, and that error will be fixed. Now the next error which we're going to deal with is going to be our spill error. And why does the spill error appear up? The spill error mostly appears up when it can't use or put up the specific data in a specific order when you are placing it. So let's just show it to you how it appears up. Let's say I'm going to put in something over here. I'm going to type in there. Okay. Now I'm going to put the same value on the same column over here. I'm going to type in a formula. I'm going to type in equal unique. I'm going to do is select the specific value and close out the parentheses and hit on enter. And you can see the spill error appears up. So this appears up because it cannot fill up the specific value right over here. As you can see, when I click on this, this is the exact range it needs to put up the value over here. But when I remove this specific data over here, then you can see that the spill error has now been removed or fixed. Okay, so now you know how you can use or fix out spill errors. I'm going to do is remove this one too. Now the next error which we are going to work with or show you is going to be our deviation error. Now why does deviation error appear up? Well, the deviation error mainly appears up when it can't find out the data, or let's say there are no values or value 0 in a specific cell when you are dividing. Let's say I'm going to click on over here and type in a formula. I'm going to type in equal this one slash this one. Hit on enter, and this is the exact value. What I'm going to do is use the fill header. And you have all of the answers, right? But what if I type in 0 over here? Hit on enter. And you can see deviation error has appeared up. When you click on it, you can see divided by 0 error. So there is a 0 over here. That is why it can't process the data. Okay, I'm going to do is remove this, and you will also see deviation error. So just like I said, either there is a 0 or there is no data in the specific cell which you are dividing it by. So this deviation error appears up. Put up any data, make sure that it is numerical value, and then it will work. But if you put in words, you can see value error appears up. So we don't want that. So I'm going to do is remove this and type in a specific value. Let's say I'm going to type in 24, hit on enter, and 56, hit on enter. And you have the specific value of this. Okay. Now we're going to work with our name error. Well, name error is very common in Microsoft Excel. The name error mainly appears up when it cannot find the exact command or function. Let's say you want to do sum. So when you're doing sum, either you use the plus icon or use the function or formula called sum. But what if you add in plus? Let's just try doing it. I'm going to type in equal. I'm going to do is remove this. I'm going to do is remove this first. I'm going to type in equal plus, and then open up the parentheses. I'm going to do select on this, and this one. Close the parentheses, hit on enter, and you can see the name error. Well, Microsoft Excel has a set of functions, but they are programmed in such a way so that it gets or identifies the specific function or formula. But if it does not meet the specific criteria or the formula or matches up the name of that specific function, it will give you the name error. So make sure you use the specific function for each and every one. So from over here, we have to use the sum function. Hit on enter, and there you have the answer. And also the error has been fixed. Okay. It also appears up in some cases when you are, let's say you are putting in a lot of formulas and function, but there is an S missing or an alphabet missing, or maybe even a parentheses missing. Okay. And when you have the parentheses missing, it's going to give you a different value or a different error. Let's say I'm going to try this over here. I'm going to type in equal sum, open up the parentheses, click on this. I'm going to select on both of them and hit on enter, and still will give you the specific value because it has identified the specific cells which it has the value. But when you're using complicated functions, it will not work. The next function let's say the next error which we're going to show you is going to be our reference error, our ref error. Well, the ref error mainly appears up when it cannot find the specific column of data or row of data. Let's just show it to you right now. I'm going to type in equal. I'm going to use click on this and minus this value. Hit on enter, and let's use the fill header to find out the data of each and every one. But what if I said that I'm going to remove this C column? So I'm going to click on this, right click, and click on delete, and you will basically see the reference error. And why is it a reference error? Because the whole column which it had the data has been removed, and it cannot find the reference of that column or those cells. Thus, the ref error appears up. Press on Control Z, and use Control Z, and there we go, it has been fixed. So when it doesn't meet up the exact data or the exact column which you are referencing it to, it will show you the reference error. The last error is going to be the NA error. And why does NA error appear up? Well, this error mainly appears up in lookup functions, okay? Let's say you are using a range of data and you want to find out the specific data for that specific person, or let's say even a specific object, but it cannot identify the specific keyword for it. And then the NA appears, okay? Or the NA error appears up. Let's just type in Alan. Okay, I'm going to do is just copy all of it, because you have to keep one thing in mind is that when you're using lookup functions, it is very case sensitive. Even when you're using Microsoft Excel, you can see that even during functions and even during lookups, it is very case sensitive. So make sure that it matches up the exact cases. So as we have Alan over here, and I'm going to do is use VLOOKUP function over here. I'm going to type in VLOOKUP. I'm going to do the lookup value is going to be this Alan, comma. The table is going to be somewhere over here, comma. The column index number is going to be, let's say I'm going to search up for PY. I'm going to type in 3, comma, and I want exact matches. Close the parentheses, hit on enter, and there we go. Now, what if I say I'm going to do is remove this and I'm going to type in Y. I'm going to use the fill header and I'm going to do is find out the values. You can see in WHIY, there is an NA error. Why is it NA error? Because there is no person known as we in the array. But if I type in Y over here, hit on enter, and you will get the exact value. Now, if I'm going to do is remove this with, I'm going to do is fix this, and it will also fix the specific error which appears up in Microsoft Excel. So now you know all about the errors which appears up in Microsoft Excel, and also methods how you can fix it. So hope you learned everything about this lesson on errors. Now let's move on to our next lesson of Microsoft Excel.